You watched the Von Erichs film trailer. What did you think of it?
I did. I liked it.
Yeah.
Yes, what I saw would make me want to see the movie. I really do. And these guys look pretty good. They kind of resemble the characters they're portraying. Who plays Carrie?
Kevin is Zac Efron.
Yeah, well.
But I don't know who plays Carrie. One sec.
Well,
so a quick search on IMDb. He's called Jeremy Allen White, and he was in the American version of Shameless as Lip Gallagher.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
What does Zefron play?
Kevin Von Erich.
Okay.
In fact, I'll tell you, the only people that I really recognise in the cast are Zac Efron, who is the star, of course, Kevin Von Erich of the famous Von Erich clan, and Lily James as the woman he loved. And then Maura Tierney, who is best known as Abby Lockhart in ER, and Jim Carrey's ex-wife in Liar Liar. But I don't really recognise anyone else in the cast apart from MJF, who of all people play the fake Von Erich, Lance Von Erich. That's an amazing bit of casting.
Yeah. But I think the show is going to do well. The movie. It's a movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think it will do well. And talking about movies, we're still involved in the Bruiser Brody, putting the Bruiser Brody movie together.
Mm-hmm. Bruiser, so someone is portraying Bruiser in this film, in fact.
Oh, is there? Well, wrestling fans will like this. And I think, are they taking this to the movie houses, or is this going out streaming, or what?
It's a good question. I don't know. I don't think it'll be ready until next year anyway. I mean, it says, December 22nd.
Yep.
It's coming out for. I think it's going to be a cinema release.
Well, it's going to be. I think it's going to be. From what I've seen so far, I kind of like it. I know the story, and I've been around the Von Erichs, been in matches with them. I need to see it send you a match with it's a 6-man tag.
See, Houston got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
And they were stiff as hell, but they didn't hurt me. So,
do you know who's playing Michael Hayes?
Michael Hayes is playing himself, or no?
No. Do you know who's playing him?
Who?
Dog the Bounty Hunter. He's not. I'm making that up, but he should be.
He's not in the movie, right? The Bounty Hunter.
No, I've just made that up. Oh. But someone is playing Michael P.S. Hayes, but it's not Dwayne Dog Chapman. It should be the part he was born to play, but apparently not.
Well, he's too old now, but that Dog Chapman, I used to watch his show. Interesting show. It really, really was, but he wasn't the star of it. His wife was.
She took up the most screen.
Yeah, she was. she was more entertaining than the Bounty Hunter was. But I think the movie would do well.
I'll give you a couple of thoughts. What do you think of Zac Efron's running of the ropes at the beginning? I thought it was all right.
That is, well, if he can run the ropes, that was like a Texas thing.
Something else I want to bring up is, very briefly, Fritz says he basically ranks the kids in order of how much he loves them.
Yeah.
Is that actually what Fritz did? Did you ever hear that?
Well, I never heard that, but there was a lot of jealousy in that family, and because I think Fritz was an expecting father and an exacting father, and they were like the top three were always like in competition. So. But I don't know Fritz that well. I met him a couple of times, never really sat down, never had a meal with him, never had a drink with him or anything. But they say they said that was a really dysfunctional family. And it was.
The film also, so when I think of the Von Erichs, I suspect you and pretty much everybody, you think basically tragedy of the Von Erich family. I know you can't have a film of 2 hours of Von Erichs killing themselves, or but I mean that's what people think of when they think of the Von Erichs. But the trailer, apart from one brief funeral scene, which isn't really explained too much, it almost comes off as more like a love story with wrestling as the backdrop. Is that how you're seeing it?
Well, I can't tell in what I've seen so far. I saw his wife with that Southern accent. So, but it doesn't mean to be a depressing story.
No, it looks upbeat, doesn't it?
It looks like it's with the girl and who was that? Carrie? That was Carrie's wife.
She's played by Lily James.
And she was Carrie's wife, right?
Carrie. Yeah,
Carrie.
yeah. Or Kevin's. I think Kevin's.
You know who the real star was expected to be by Fritz was David. Then he went to Japan and found him dead. And now I think that was before Kerry went to WWE, because he had an accident before. People that know the story know the story. I know the story, but I don't know the story. And he crushed his foot so bad, he had to have an artificial foot attached to his ankle. And I think Kerry died next.
No.
Am I right?
No. In order, dare I do this off the top of my head? There was the youngest son, Jack Jr., who died as a kid. Then there was David, who died in 1984, maybe. I think it was an overdose.
In Japan.
Yep. And then maybe Mike, who got toxic shock syndrome, and then he ended up killing himself. And then there was Chris Von Erich, the tiny little one, who didn't develop properly, had like developmental issues and health issues. Mm-hmm. And he killed himself. And then Kerry killed himself in 1993 because he looked like he was about to be indicted on drug charges or pill shopping or something like that. But yeah, he looked like he was going down the curve.
And what was the last brother's name?
And the surviving brother is Kevin.
And then Fritz died.
Fritz died like 97 or 8 or something like that.
It's a story. And I watched an interview with Kerry, with Kevin. Wow, he said he was so depressed. And I may have told this story before.
Yeah.
He wanted to kill himself. So one day he walks into a gun shop and everybody knew him. They all said, "Hey, Kevin, how you doing?" Because he'd been on TV so much. And he bought a gun, I think, and he walked out, or he took a gun just off the shelf and walked out. Didn't pay for it. He went and got in his car. Nobody called the cops. Nobody did anything. And then he says, and then he took the gun back in and gave it back to him. They didn't even call the cops on him. So he wanted to sit outside in the parking lot, from what I understand, and kill himself out there because he was so depressed over his whole family. And I could see that. When did the mother die? Does it say?
No, I didn't look up that.
It was total tragedy in Texas.
Just before we move on to the main event, the Hulk Hogan thing, the Puerto Rico story, which I know you were very beguiled by, his version or retelling or making up or whatever. Apparently, and I've looked this up, that if one person commits suicide in a family, it raises the chances of somebody else doing it in the same family because of, I don't know if it's cause and effect, or they just think, well, they took that way out, so it's available to me, that kind of thing. But it may well sort of explain, because obviously the Von Erichs, the Graham family as well, where it's several generations with. So it's one of those things where it's sort of like, if one person does it in a family, it almost psychologically prepares you to think that maybe you could do it too. I don't know what the thing. I don't know what the.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that theory, but there was something that I can't pinpoint, nor can psychologists or anybody else. They can say something, but who knows what was going on in the heads of the Von Erichs. I can't say, you can't say, and I knew them. I didn't know them well, but they were always like a little bit odd, always. So the matches I had with them sometimes in Texas, I wasn't there long, but they were friendly, they were nice, but distant. I mean, you wouldn't want to walk in and feel like you're at home with these guys, because they were basically all loners, all of them. I didn't know if they had, other than the girl they show in the movie. I guess that's Carrie's wife, I guess. They got close, but I never knew them to have close friends, and nobody ever said anything about them having friends and doing this, or even talking to people that knew them. They would tell you that it was a little bit weird with that group.